The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Missouri Milestones, the podcast. This is Season 1, Episode 4 here on June the 12th, 2025. It's Episode 4. First of all, I want to alert everyone to stay tuned through the break, as I had an opportunity to catch up with Thomas Brock, who is a member of the Missouri Milestones with 2,234 points scored at Mount Vernon High School, where is my alma mater, and we will take that up right after the break here. But I want to tell you, it's been fun assembling this Missouri Milestones list. Knew there would be a lot of names, but we had no idea how real and alive the list would become. The interactions that we've had with those who have sent the names to us, family members who those are listed, and with athletes themselves, have made this much more than an exercise of just listing names and numbers. It's so much more than that. These aren't seasons of basketball. These are entire careers. Going back to the 1950s, we've had names from. We've interviewed Jim Gummersbach from 1963, graduate of CBC. Condensed down to one line to a few words and numbers, the conditioning, the practices, the shot after shot in the gym that every one of these players took, male and female. It's so much fun to catch up and hear about their history. As I told you earlier, we'll be hearing from Thomas Brock here after the commercial break in the second segment here. It is 8 o'clock on Thursday morning. Hope everyone has a wonderful day. And hey, do us a favor. Go to our social media pages, like us on Facebook, give us or subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter at playing_sports and at scoreboard guy. And you'll get all the information that we have. And, hey, stay tuned every week. We've got them, where are they now? Wednesdays. Goes out Wednesday morning. Yesterday was at noon, kind of a lunchtime episode, as we've been struggling here at my house with just some technical things. But we'll be back next Thursday morning with Missouri Milestones, the podcast. And we'll be back as well next Wednesday morning. And stay tuned for our football updates are coming out. And as always, brought to you by the Bank of Billings. Bank of Billings, established in 1889, the oldest bank in Christian County. Also presented by Doak Propane. Doak Propane in Bolivar, Missouri. For all your propane needs in Polk County and surrounding counties, see the folks at Doak. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, we'll be back after the break, and you'll hear from Thomas Brock right over these messages.
Hi, I'll have the avocado toast minus the avocado.
So, toast.
Yeah. Everything is so expensive these days.
Hey, Chevy gets it. That's why they're keeping prices down to earth, like on the most affordable EV in America. A super strong and capable Chevy truck. And a high-tech Chevy SUV. Why is Chevy making affordable vehicles connected by OnStar? It's so together, we can do more.
We believe banking should make your life greater. It starts with affordable options to meet today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. From smart account options that fit your style to flexible loans for what comes next. It means convenient ways to access and manage your money whenever you need it and wherever you're headed. Most of all, it takes great support. Someone you can count on for trusted guidance and to be there for you every step of the way. Great options, great convenience, great support for life. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters.
What?
Step into the new when you drive a Chevy. It's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective. And find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Chevy.
Hey, welcome back to Missouri Milestone Mondays here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Continuing on with our segment, Missouri Milestones, we welcome in 2007 Mount Vernon graduate Thomas Brock. Coach Brock, thanks for your time today.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Before we get started, tell us a little bit about what you're doing now. Obviously, you're in recruiting mode, maybe, but where you're at and how you got there.
Yeah, so just finished up my 10th season now at Columbia College, 4 as the assistant, and then 6 seasons now as a head coach. So, you know how time flies at Columbia's kind of become home for us, and you know, great school here, great town to live in. Really enjoying what we're doing here.
Outstanding. Well, Coach and I have got a connection. I actually played high school basketball for Coach Brock's father, Skip Brock, and still maintain a connection with him every now and then. And he comes often. He'll come into Bolivar, which is where I live, when the other Coach Brock is coaching here in town with versus SBU. But so our contact goes back a long time to you and your brother playing basketball on the stage when we were practicing back in 1988, 89. Tell us a little bit about your memories of your high school career.
Well, I've got nothing but fond memories. Obviously, you know, played 4 years at Mount Vernon for my dad, and that was really special to get to play for your dad. And you know, we had some good teams, you know, during that stretch, which was fun. You know, got to go to the Final Four my junior year. You know, won a couple district and conference championships, and you know, probably outside of just the opportunity to play for my dad, you know, the other thing that always stands out about my time at Mount Vernon, you know, on the court and even on the football field, is just the guys I got to play with and the relationships that, you know, was able to form there, and you know, still have great relationships with several of those guys now, even though we're into our 30s now. But you know, really a special place, and a really fun 4 years for me.
2,234 points puts you close to the top, you know, in points scored. Do you remember that first time, maybe that first bucket, you know, probably as a freshman, that you remember that?
I don't know if I remember the exact bucket, but I do remember my first game as a freshman. We were at the Stratford tournament, and you know, so it came in the at Stratford, and you know, it was one of those things where, you know, a smaller school, class 3A. I was you know, fortunate to get my feet wet right away. You know, I had was able to start every game of my career right from day one, and you know, we were a young team my freshman year, and had a little bit of a success, but kind of was able to start with a younger core, and then that led into sophomore, junior, senior years where we you know, had three really good years. So.
Talk about some of those guys that you played with, and even some guys maybe that you played against that you maybe still have contact with.
Yeah, so guys that I played with that you know, at Mount Vernon, and my dad had a ton of success, not just the 4 years that I played. Obviously had a couple great stretches at Mount Vernon, but you know, some of the guys I played with early on, always think of the Kleins. You know, played my first 3 year with Josh Klein, who I believe is now coaching at Moned, if I'm not mistaken. But he was a really good player. Went on to play at Evangel and had a good career there. And then my senior year, I got to play with his little brother Zach, who, if I'm not mistaken, also scored over 2,000 points in his career. He stepped in as a freshman right away and was very impactful for us at Mount Vernon. And then I actually got to play with him again my senior year at SBU. He came in as a freshman at SBU, and so that was a lot of fun. And you know, he was a great high school player, and had a really good college career as well. And we had, you know, we had a good, my class in particular had a good group. Played with Ethan Trokey, Tyler Willis, Eli Emerson. We had several guys that had several years where, again, we kind of started as a younger group and were able to have some good years in our career in basketball and then football as well. And still have great relationships with those guys. Kellen Cox is another guy that still to this day one of my best friends. Probably a little bit better football player than basketball player, but he was a great teammate, and so really again, the biggest thing that always stands out to me about my career in Mount Vernon is just the people, and not just my dad who I got to play for, but some great assistant coaches, and then some great football coaches as well.
Again, we're visiting with the Columbia College head basketball coach Thomas Brock here on the Missouri Milestone Mondays. Over 2,000 points scored, and me being a graduate of Mount Vernon, you still paid attention. You were 15 years after me, but I can remember blue and gold moments. What about the blue and gold tournament stands out to you? I have one in particular where you guys won the blue and gold tournament, and you took the trophy over to the crowd and sang the school song. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. That's one of my favorite high school memories when we were able to win the blue and gold. Obviously, that was a huge deal for a smaller school to go and beat some really good teams. We ended up beating Ozark in the championship game, and we I don't remember exactly when in my career we started singing the alma mater song with the crowd. But we kind of, at some point, that became, anytime we win a big game like that, we'd go over and kind of celebrate with our student body, and always had a great student body there supporting us. I remember also a similar moment in my senior year, our district championship game. We beat East Newton right at the end, and was able to do the same thing, go over and celebrate with our student body. And so those are definitely some great moments. And then I mentioned Ethan Trokey, but I remember my junior year, Ethan hit a game winner in the quarterfinals at Lebanon against I believe we were playing Lynn, and he had a buzzer beater to send us to the Final Four. And still remember the celebration we had on the court in the locker room after that. So always special to win some of those big games and have those memories with guys.
You've talked about some of those big games. Are there games? I have those, whether it be football, baseball, basketball, going back, obviously a lot longer ago, but that you'd like to go back and play again. Maybe a game that got away from you, and you maybe do this more as a coach, but as a player, are there games that maybe got away from you that you felt like you should have won, or maybe games like that Lynn game in the quarterfinals, you'd like to go back and experience that again? Are there memories like that?
Yeah, for sure. I think the most obvious one is when you end your career. We lost in the state sectional. If I remember right, I think we were number one in the state for most of my senior year. We finished 28-2. Our only loss during the regular season was to a really good kickapoo team in the Nixa tournament championship. But I think of in that Spokane game in the sectional, obviously didn't feel like we played our best. We'd beaten Spokane 2 times earlier, and once in the regular season and then once in the blue and gold. They had a really good team. And what's always funny about that game is a guy that I ended up playing with at SBU and became one of my close friends at SBU. He was actually at my wedding. Tristan Steele played for that Spokane team. At the time, we didn't really know each other, obviously didn't really like each other because we were competing against each other. But then, a couple of years later, ended up being roommates at SBU and became really good friends. And there's of course, there's always in sports, whether it's coaching or playing, there's always a few that, you'd like to have back, but that's part of it. And that's what makes, when you're able to win, and that kind of makes it even more special.
And I would do myself a disservice if we didn't talk a little bit about football. Your high school football career was outstanding. I can remember a game at Bolivar in a state playoff game at Bolivar where you absolutely took control. And I was in the booth at the game, and Coach Cox was calling the game, or he was up on the headset. And I hear him tell Coach Mayberry, you better get him out of there or he's going to run this score up as high as he can put it. I will not forget that. And do you remember that game at Bolivar? There was a lot of talking going back and forth. And, of course, Derek Barnes is right in the middle of it on Sports Talk, a very good friend of both of ours and a very good Christian man. And I know he had some influence in your life. But talk about that contest here, and I know this is basketball, but that memory of you stands out probably more than anything else.
Yeah, it's funny. I obviously had a good basketball career and decided to play college basketball, and that's kind of my first love. I growing up at a gym, as you mentioned, playing, being around my dad, so. And then now coaching basketball, but I have a lot of fond memories from the 4 years of playing high school football. And I probably, more than any basketball game that I can remember, I probably have more people like you mentioned that the Bolivar football game as something that stands out. And we had a really good team my senior year, and Bolivar had a really nice team as well. And so I know it was a big game, but I do remember on the bus ride up there, Coach Henderson, Dan Henderson, our head coach, came over, and it was kind of out of the norm, but I don't know if he was nervous or what, but he asked me, he goes, are you guys, are you ready for tonight? And that was something that he had never asked me in 4 years playing for him. And I just said, yeah, coach, we're good. We're ready. And sure enough, we were, and we played really well, and were able to kind of stretch it out there against Bolivar, and then unfortunately, just like the basketball game that ended our career, we lost a heartbreaker in the quarterfinals to Harrisonville that year, and lost by 1 to them, and they went on to win the state championship, but. I had a great group of guys and coaches on the football field as well, and so our couldn't ask for more. I think we were 11-1 my senior year of football, and then 28-2 as I mentioned in basketball, and so really special year for us.
Outstanding. Well, Coach Brock, it's been an honor to get to visit with you and kind of relive some of those memories for me as a fan. As well as a player, playing for your dad and watching you kind of grow up. But I greatly appreciate you spending a few minutes here with us on Missouri Milestone Mondays.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Hey, you're watching the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow.
The Walnut Street Inn is located in the heart of Springfield on historic Walnut Street, just blocks away from the Missouri State campus, Hammonds Field, Great Southern Arena, and downtown Springfield. The Walnut Street Inn features newly remodeled rooms, breakfast served daily, and a friendly, accommodating staff. The Walnut Street Inn is also a great venue for private events. Book your stay or get more information at walnutstreetinn.com or call 417-864-6346.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank.